Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of The Remedy. Today I got to sit down with my younger brother, Jackson, also one of my best friends. We took a little bit to warm into it. It was a one take, and yeah, that was it. Straight into it. So, yeah, we were a little bit nervous and it took a while to warm into it, but we did go super deep and we spoke all things about our upbringing, creativity, food, coronavirus, and just living a balanced lifestyle. So, hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you leave a review. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. Hey, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just finished the workout and a coffee.
Yeah,
Ready to podcast.
I know. Number two. Me and O'Shea done one on the weekend. Went for about 40 minutes, but yeah, first official. That was just a little mock around, but first official one here today in our pad. Yeah, we went and had a little workout and yeah, just getting active, chilling.
Yeah, got lots of time to.
Yeah, that's right, man. What are your thoughts on that? You've just lost your job. Well, haven't lost your job, but you've just been put off like a lot of other Australians have, and you're an apprentice barber. And like, yeah, what's your take on everything? You got plenty of time.
Obviously, it's tough because you have to pay for everything in life, pretty much. But they say any change is good change, and I think it's for the better. I think it's good for everyone as well to kind of settle down a bit more and focus on their actual life rather than work all the time. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to look at it that way and try and get better at areas I'm not that good at, so put more time into yoga and meditation, stuff like that, where sometimes you get caught up and, as Paul Check would say, like working out, not working in. So trying to work in.
Yeah.
And try get around to stuff couldn't get around to, so actually enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. I feel you the same way. Like, we so caught up in everything, like playing football and the pressures of football and just everyday grind and trying to be the best you can. And then all of a sudden all that pressure's taken off from not me, from like an outside what did I say? Like, yes, I didn't choose it.
Yeah.
I didn't choose the pressure to be. I didn't pull the pin on anything. Everything kind of just got taken away. Everyone's in the level, in the same boat, level playing field, and it's a weird time. Like, you start thinking about what really matters and what you've been taken for granted, and you go back to basics in a way. You reckon?
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about the other day, even today. Like, obviously everyone had plans for this year and it's all been put on hold or just thrown away.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about, like, that can be very tough, but it's just a reminder that, so cliche, but to be here right now and just live in the present, be like, it's liberating
Yeah.
to live that way. And if you can find that in these circumstances, I think that's a win.
Yeah, 100%. And it's hard to it's easier said than done. Hey, like,
yeah, well, life is all about move, work, money. Like,
yeah, it's fast paced. Eh?
Yeah, it's a balance. You have to have that balance.
And you hear preachers and people saying you need a balance, and you say, yeah, I'm balanced, or I've got a balance. And then when something like this happens, you're like, fuck, how much was I not in balance?
Yeah, that's true.
And like, social media is a massive one.
Mm.
And that's like even back to what you were saying, like how everybody had plans. Go to like people who had jobs, and their plans of just making money and providing for their families just being cut.
Mm.
And it's like, I wonder if they were living in the present
Yeah.
at that time, or because being cut just like that. Luckily for me, my job's still, I'm still working, but just being cut, and then you just like, what the fuck do I do now? And then stress takes over
Yeah.
and everything like that.
It's a easy, it's an easy road to like just throwing in like alcohol and shit. Like it's an easy road to depending on stuff right now.
It's an
like,
easy road to be not present right now.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like
Really easy.
to get numb to everything.
Because if you've got a lot of shit going on, you've got a mortgage and you've got kids and who knows what else, and then you haven't been given the tools to learn how to deal with that, and you get like anxiety and stress, and you don't want to deal with it, so you just turn to alcohol or some other way.
Even Instagram.
Yeah, even social
like,
media.
Sitting on that all day is just like kind of numbing yourself to reality.
TV,
Yeah.
sports,
Yeah.
social media, all do the same shit. They get your mind away from what the fuck's going on. That is a massive thing for me, man. I love watching UFC. I love watching rugby league.
Mm-hmm.
And like, say there would be a UFC on Sunday, I would gear up. My Sunday would be go out in the morning, come back and chill and watch the fights and just like let the sun shine through the window.
Mm.
And now that that's off and rugby league's off, man, I am not, and I'm off social media. I'm just on there just to post a little bit. Like I just post then get straight back off. But that was my choice to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So footy's off, no social media, and now I'm just not engaged in any, like I'm fucking very present at the moment, and it's crazy. I feel so good.
Yeah, and there's times where I've had like a week or two like that, and you find so much to fill the day with. You find so much, like there's so much time that like, oh, I could be doing this and this, like it's crazy. Like without your phone, you figure out so many things you could do.
Oh,
That's what I have figured out, and you find so many new things to like pursue.
and it's like things you done as a kid as well.
Yeah.
Play instruments, draw.
Everything I do today is
play.
everything I do today I've done. I remember vividly memories as a kid, like being into that, and like that's how I know, like.
But what about when you go in? What about when you're not present, and then you go into that feeling of doing something? Like say you played volleyball back in the day. This is random. Say you played volleyball back in the day, and you stopped playing for ages. When you were a little kid, you started playing volleyball. Didn't play for ages, and then you go around to a barbecue and people playing volleyball. And when you play volleyball that time, and then you come away, you're like, "Fuck, that was fun."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's yeah. Everything I kind of devoted to. Well, that's the word I'm choosing. Everything that I would be devoted to is like something that I vividly remember as a child. I just always had, or was always had it, even if like I didn't have the opportunities or wasn't kind of like guided into those areas. I still remember those memories of being like, oh, I really love this, and like I've grown up and grown into that, and that's how I kind of keep myself on track and kind of check myself to when like. I know you can start following other people's dreams. It's very easy. So that's how I kind of keep on track with who I am.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And that's credit to you, man. Like when we were growing up, I'm 5 years older, so I was pushed towards sport. I used to get up super early in the morning, swim 4 times a week, and then it was just.
We both were, yeah.
Yeah, like when I started doing it, and then it was just, you're straight in that mold. You're going to do the exact same as what I done. Yeah. And you did it for a while, and you were good at it all. But then there was a part of you that also like creativity. Used to draw, used to paint, used to always like want to be cooking and doing things like that. Where I was just sport driven, and then
Sure.
and then you just slowly drifted away. You didn't really care what mum and dad said. Like even though mum and dad were pretty strict at that time, you were just like you're pretty stubborn in a way. You're just like, no, I'm not doing it.
It's like I guess when you get to that teenage age where you start becoming your own person a bit more. But like I just remember, I remember we used to always like our whole weekend filled with sport and, you know, getting out there doing that. It wasn't as though I wanted to just sit at home, but I remember like drawing gardens to like drawing up a garden, like planning out a garden and showing mum and being like, oh, can we like build this next weekend?
Yeah.
Or she's like, no, because that's going to cost heaps of money.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like that was like just me being like almost sending a message or being like super excited for something that I wasn't being shoved in front of my face. You know what I mean?
You had to go searching for it a bit.
Yeah, like
it's like a hidden message.
Like footy and shit was just shoved in my face and like everything like that, which is cool. I was good at it, but I didn't want to do that all weekend.
No,
I didn't want to do that all week. Like,
but you were an old head, man. You were young, hanging around me and my mates, and we were like always like pounding you, smashing you. But like you'd always fit in, and then you'd always chime in the convos. So you were like an old head from growing up.
I'll say this: I was switched on very young.
Yeah.
Not to like toot my own horn, but I was like in a space, even in high school, where I was like, I don't want to sit with like everyone if they're just talking about everyone else and like, you know, I don't want to talk about anyone else. Like, bro, that was in like year 10. Like, and I remember being really young, hanging around, like you and your friends and people being like, like almost saying it is like a bad thing, like, oh yeah, you like don't act your age, or like you always hanging out with the older kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, don't be something you're not or something like.
Yeah, but
it's like you're 5.
But yeah, and I was always a listener, not a speaker. So I was always just hanging around listening, and that's how you learn how to conduct yourself. Or like, even if you're 5 years ahead of me and I'm listening to the issues you're going through, or like the troubles or like the dramas, like. Some kids could be sucked in, but I'm listening and being like, all right, like that's what they did. Like,
yeah.
Like I remember funny stories about like just being around all those guys about you like doing stupid shit. Like, I was like, I didn't really do much crazy shit, like, because like I've already seen like that and already heard all the stories about that and like.
Yeah, true. Yeah, where me, I was more just like.
You're kind of a sacrificial lamb for me.
Just sacrificing myself so you would have all this wisdom. Don't do this, bro. Do that. Don't do that. But
I believe that, that like I was always switched on to that stuff early on, and like, I was always like, it's funny that I'm doing the podcast because it's probably my weakest attribute.
Oh yeah,
it's like speaking and expressing how I feel through words.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so into other mediums and like creating through other mediums to express myself.
Ooh, yeah, for sure. That's what that was one of my. Well, you've already kind of answered it from the start, but like creativity and how that become about and grew on you, and you just elaborated because obviously you'd rather not speak and create through other avenues. But how did the creativity come? Because I remember I used to just walk always in your room and just be like, yo, what are you doing? And you'd just be sitting there drawing this massive...
Bro, I don't even like... Before I was even like almost conscious, like I still get photos from like mum and nan of like stuff I drew for like Christmas. Like colours and shit, like pretty in detail for like my age. I'm like, fuck, I don't like... I've always just said like, bro, I was been drawing since like came out of the womb. Like I've been like just always I don't know why. I don't know why. I've always just put my thoughts and expressed myself through other ways. And not everyone got it. That's why, like, yeah, people thought I was a bit weird and, like, I was just experimenting with stuff in high school. But that's, like, that was me expressing, like, emotion of, like, I want to be who I am. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
at that time, I was stuck in so many, like, you got to do this, do that. And no one was really listening to what I felt like doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So, like, what avenues did you drawing, making, well, right
Drawing.
now you're drawing, making music,
Yeah,
you're
I make music.
designing clothes.
Yeah, screen print. Used to paint when I was younger, a lot. Even got into like hand stitching and like embroidering and stuff. Man,
Gardening.
yeah, I was always in the garden. Always cooking is art form to
Oh,
me,
bro,
bro.
yeah.
Like,
This guy cooks a mean.
Yep.
What is it? The chicken. What is that? The barbecue.
yeah, I cooked the what do they call it?
Shish
The
kebab.
yeah, the Persian chicken kebab.
Yeah, on the coals.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. But cook that and some jollof every now and then. But I've been cooking since I was really young. Yeah. That to me was an expression of like gratitude and love as well. Like anyone can cook food, but like to
Deeper meaning to food though. And preparation,
that's
like back in the day, you know what I mean?
that's what I'm trying to like to get to. That's why I love like communicating through art, because it's much deeper. It's something that words can't describe.
Is there a better feeling than prepping a dish that's taken you a couple of hours and then it's taken you a couple of hours to cook, say if you were cooking it long or just doing whatever, and then you give it to people and they're just like, oh, like mouth orgasms? It's just like,
Bro.
that is pretty much just like painting a picture, putting it up there and people
What
just
do you
going,
think?
whoa.
Bro, when you spend like, when you do the hard yards and like, just for my instance, and like screen print this shirt by hand and like done everything by hand, like it's taken you weeks, and to see someone be like, oh bro, like I really want this shirt, and like send you the money and get the shirt, and sometimes you see people buying like more than one, you're like, fuck, like
That's cool.
it was worth it. Like like it's not even about the money, it's that feeling. Strip the money back, like it's just the feeling of like, it's like fulfillment almost.
Yeah,
You know
that
what I
would be
mean?
fulfillment. And that's what you do, yeah? You go, you start it from scratch, do everything, get the dye, like,
Yeah.
even like from plants and stuff, you get the
Yeah.
dye, extract the dye, and he makes shirts and hand prints them, and then you put it, and like your business isn't pumping, but like because these things take a while to make, you put them up, and then it's like might be a slow buy, a couple people buy, and you're pretty much just getting that money, putting it back into yourself, and then doing it again for things that you love doing, not so you're just kind of starting out, you'd say.
Yeah, like man, there's no rush, you know what I mean? I know, like, I'm not, like, I want to learn as well before if I got to that point, I wouldn't even know what to do, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do with fucking 10 grand,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
So you're just pretty much learning from the ground up.
yeah, that's what you got to do. You can't, you're going to get chewed up and spat out if you, you know what I mean, if you try to run before you can walk, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, couldn't agree more. So that's how you got into your creativity side and went on a bit of a tangent there, but no, that's pretty deep about that. Me and you have grown pretty close together over the past couple of years, into gardening. Like we're pretty much the same people. Everyone says we look the same, and we pretty much speak every day. It's pretty cool to have grown up.
We have these convos.
These convos every time we see each other go fucking deep. We've done psychedelics together, ayahuasca.
She introduced me to.
Yeah, a couple of years. How old were you when you did your first ayahuasca ceremony?
I think it was last year, so 20.
Yeah, 20 years old. That was super cool to witness that, and how you got brought up, and how your soul, or who you are, is different compared to me, and how you perceived our growing up and childhood in totally three different eyes, which was cool to see. And yeah, and then we love gardening, breathing.
Yeah, you got me into a lot of shit. But
Yeah,
like,
which is cool.
yeah, like that's what I'm grateful for. You know what I mean? I was, like I said before, I was always switched on as a younger kid, but to have like someone like a brother to like, I'm really into like all this stuff, but I never really had people around me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, even to have a brother which is closer than a friend, that's like sick.
Yeah. I haven't even looked at it that way. Hey, like
know what I mean?
sometimes I think of my friends, and I'm like, yeah, they're kind of into it, but I don't really have anyone who's fucking fully into it. That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
organized at home and does everything like how
Yeah.
it should be. And then I don't even look at you because you're my brother. But now when we talk about it, it's like, fuck, you pretty
Yeah.
much do exactly the same thing I
Yeah.
do.
And like, it's not even just about training. It's like anything, like around
Food,
the house, food.
Everything. Yeah, man.
Mm.
So like what you've done a couple of like different diets and oh no. Before we go to that, staying on the creativity side, what your plans for the future and like what's your outcome of, say, if it's your clothes and your music and stuff like that? What are you looking for?
Like this year,
Nah, like
just like
maybe in the future,
5
like
years.
a couple of few dreams you got.
Yeah. Man, honestly, like, just growing. Like, I don't really have anything to prove to anyone. Like, that's the funny thing. That like, I just want to get better. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I wake up every day to make change. Like, do you know what I mean?
But you do have that. You have a new kind of clothing.
Yeah.
Not
I just want to
clothing.
like. That's kind of what I mean. Probably not explaining it well, but just like grow in all aspects. Like, even with recording music, like I just been recording like. Usually I'll just record the old hip hop, rap, trappy tracks.
Yeah.
But like you've seen, I've been like experimenting into like post punk and like electronic and shit. So it's just like I want to learn more about music and just try to express myself different ways. Same with clothes. Like it's not gonna be clothes anymore. It's like just clothes. I'm making soap and making skincare and making whatever I want to. Really.
And a cool passion for Indigenous culture as well. Hey.
Oh man, like that's an important part of my upbringing. We should probably touch on that because I kind of feel obliged to. I've talked to you about this before, but like when I really strip everything back, like I was literally like born on the land, ate food from the land, washed myself in the water from the land, like made memories on the land. Like I feel obliged to. Like that's where I'm from. That is me.
Yeah.
Like they say, you are what you eat. Then that is me. Like that's. And like growing up, I always had like, man, a very close like a very strong relationship with like people of that area. Like
Yeah. So we're from Coffs Harbour.
yeah, we're from Coffs Harbour, which is Gumbaynggirr country, and lots of like it's like a lot of the tribes down there, like Bunjalung, Dunghutti and stuff, all in that area. So and a very very rich history like there is everywhere in Australia, but
just goes unseen, eh? Crazy.
yeah, it's funny and like no one really like listens to what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like even the kids, like yeah, like I truly believed in like all that black magic stuff and everything when I was younger, because like I was so close with those kids. Like yeah, even going Mount Warning. I remember year 11, and like all my friends were like, "Fuck that, bro!" Like fucking Yowies up there. And like, I was like, bro, I was proper scared, and then went up there and fell off the mountain. So like, I'm never going back to Mount Warning.
So Mount Warning's up near the border of Queensland and New South Wales. I think
Mullumbimby.
Mullumbimby way.
Yeah.
You didn't want to go because
my friends.
your Koori mates
Yeah.
were like, nah, man, don't fucking go up there. Like, we're not allowed to go up there and shit. Because Mount Warning actually used to be a place where the indigenous you used to have to get up to the top to become a man, wasn't it? It's a rites of passage to
Yeah,
become a
for like
man.
young males or something.
Young
One of
males,
those
yeah.
ones.
So I believe, and so when you heard that, you didn't want to go, and Mum pretty much like packed your bags and kicked you
Yeah,
out the door to
yeah.
go.
Like I really did. Like I was like, why am I going to? Like I hate heights too. Like that was the
Same.
main thing. Like, yeah, they sent me. I didn't like it at all. Like probably if I did that now, I'd probably get a bit more out of it.
Yeah.
But like at that time, I was like, no, bro, this place is like fucking haunted for real.
And you nearly fell off, eh? Like there's
Yeah, I
there's
fell
windy
off.
roads there.
Yeah, and I can't see very well in the dark. So
yeah.
we're up at like 3 a.m.
Mm.
Yeah, I fucking fell and like grabbed this tree and shit. It wasn't fatal. Could have like maybe broke a leg, but I was like, man, fuck this place. Like, for shit show, never coming back here.
Yeah.
But it's funny we did ayahuasca around that area.
Mm.
Not there, but around the area. So, and now when I go back there, I look at it like such a beautiful place. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, how's
yeah.
the drive out there,
Bro.
man? It's fucking
Hectic.
crazy. You just
Yeah.
drive and the air's just like
Pure.
tastes
Bro.
so much better. You just the scenic, and it's like it's kind of like a feeling of like like you're properly home, man.
No, last time I went, so in our eye circle, there's a guy that goes frequently from like our area.
Mm.
I was like, man, like to be back here, like we live in Brisbane and we're from Coffs, so I was like, man, this looks like home, like
Mm.
like all the plants are like. It's funny once you cross Tweed, like plants, animals, everything change. You wouldn't think
Mm.
that like, but pretty much as soon as you cross Tweed or maybe like Gold Coast. No, even Gold Coast is pretty different to me. So like when I'm down, I'm like, fuck, this is like I haven't been home in years.
Bro, drive Gold Coast, like say out the back. What's the like Natural Bridge and stuff up over that mountain range? What's that? What's the range out west from Gold Coast? I forget what that is, but anyway, you drive out the back there, and then, for instance, drive like on the coast through Byron and Lismore, and that way, like
It's way
Ballina,
different,
it's
eh?
like, whoa, yeah, it's pretty different. Like just the way the land is, not the land, but more the trees and stuff like that.
Even
It
the
just-
animals
yeah.
and shit, like
Yeah. So what would your say that we were talking about how we're into the same sort of stuff? Like, what would your morning kind of look like for you?
at the moment I'm waking up and just meditating for as long as possible, around like 20 minutes probably. I'm not like a seasoned meditator, I would say, but since my last ceremony I've been pretty onto it.
What type of meditation do you do?
So I've been doing I was doing a meditation just to this guy from northern New South Wales area that plays Didgeridoo. His name's One Tonga Dreaming, if you want to look him up on
Shout out.
Bandcamp.
One Tonga Dreaming?
Sir. He had a very big impact on me.
That's
But-
his name, yeah? One Tonga Dreaming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was doing that for a while, 'cause it just let me snap straight into almost like that space, like
Relaxation,
Yeah.
like just a weird, like
Yeah.
drop into the void type
like
of thing.
my mind stops racing
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then I had a friend put me onto the Waking Up app by Sam Harris about a month ago.
Yeah.
And then last week you told me about it and I was like, oh, I gotta have that app.
Sick
Like,
app.
Bro, I'm on day 15. Have you been doing day-to-days? I'm like, nah, like, I just did a couple that were pretty good. So I've been doing that recently. I think I've done 2 or 3 days.
Yes. Get that app if you're
That's very
thinking
good.
about starting a meditation. I would definitely recommend that app.
For walkthroughs, yeah, very good. And yeah, I love his walkthroughs just because he's not always. He just pop in and out.
Yeah.
know
So
what I mean?
waking up,
Yeah,
With
Waking
Sam
Up,
Harris.
Sam Harris.
you get 5 days free, and then you can pay. you can pay. He also has a little section on his webpage that has for free. If you're struggling at the moment, which is such a cool thing. He actually announced that on Joe Rogan. Yeah, so you've been using that lately.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll throw in the old the Wim Hof things we were doing that you introduced me to. At the end I'll just do 30 deep breaths and then holds. Maybe do like 2 or 3 rounds. Sometimes I do that, or sometimes I like to finish up and I literally just say out loud like everything in that moment that I'm grateful to have. Like sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 10, like just whatever's in my mind at the moment. Like I'm so grateful for this, I'm so thankful to have this. And man, like I encourage everyone to do that after meditation, just to go about the day, just because like, man, it helped me so much just to like let shit go, hey, and like really integrate those ceremonies with ayahuasca.
Yeah, sweet. So meditation, that's your little meditation. And what time will you roughly get up? Did you set an alarm or?
No, I've always woken up with the sun.
Yeah.
Usually. So I had trouble living in the city. That's why I moved out to the suburbs a little bit. But no, I usually wake up with the sun. So
just whenever your body clock gets up. And
yeah, like I usually wake up 6:30, 7:30.
Yeah.
Not early, not too early. And I've been getting better at my sleep.
Yeah.
Like going to bed a bit earlier. So I go to bed around like 9 now, 9:30, and then wake up like 7:30, 6:30.
Fuck, me and Leia are in bed at like 7:30 some nights. So
Yeah.
7:30, 8, and we're just like rugged up because I know if I go to bed past 9 o'clock, if I go to bed past 9 o'clock, I'm like, oh, one more hour.
Yeah.
And then I just wake up in the morning and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that, I don't notice it super bad, but just in my head, it's like, you fucking little idiot. You didn't go to bed on time, and now you're gonna get a kick in the ass later on. And then I reach for the coffee.
Yeah.
But so now I'm just like, if you can do things earlier, like say around 4:30, 5, get all your stuff done. Eat. I like to eat roughly 5 to 6.
Yeah, I've been trying to cook around like 5:30 recently.
And just going down with the sun is massive, you know what I mean? Waking up with the sun is good, but going down, like, staying awake till like 10, 11, fuck that, like, I'm a zombie.
That's definitely like, yeah, that's something I need to... I used to go to bed, like, when I was a teenager, when everyone's out partying, I would be in bed at, like, those times, like, 7:30, 8:30.
Yeah.
So, like, that is naturally how I am, but, yeah. I'd like to work on sleep probably more as... Yeah, by the time I'm, like, your age, I'd like to have sleep down pat and, like, kind of on the path you're on. Like, I still do watch, like, TV and shit, you know what I mean?
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm fucking jumping on YouTube, going down rabbit holes and stuff like that, but just of late, like, since this COVID's been happening, I'm now kind of off that pretty...
Super aware.
Like, yeah, super aware, and I'm listening to, like, Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, Carl Jung.
That's one thing you put me onto too. That's good. If like you find that you do like, I find it doesn't grab as much as your brain as like. I feel like TV and stuff almost puts your brain stuff kind of on pause.
Yeah, it just freezes you.
Yeah, whereas like a podcast, you can kind of elaborate on like what people are talking about. Like, so I've added heaps of like podcast shows to my phone now, and like. I try and use those where I can instead of that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Like especially at night time when you're like, oh, I just want to watch this TV show or something. Like, try and just put one episode because usually a podcast is like an hour or two, which is like usually ready for bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, get this. I'm going to give you my afternoon routine.
Alright.
So I'll try eat early, say 5:30. And then I'm chilling, I'm doing maybe a bit of stretching, a little bit of breathing or whatever. Or I might even just, lately I've been plugging my phone in and then putting a little podcast on and just doing the dishes and, you know, getting around, light a little incense, get the lights down. And then as it comes to about 7:30, I'm like, let's say 7, I'm in bed. got lavender oil all over me, on my feet, temples, arms, and then I've brewed up a cup of like, I've been having teas, like bedtime teas,
Oh shit, I've been doing that recently
and
too.
I can't actually tell you what is in it. Like chamomile, it's like a mixture of nettle. I think nettle might be good for
Yeah, I
like
use
nervous
nettle.
system and stuff. And then I put in like a little bit of, oh, I have that as well as like a bone broth, which is like the
Yeah, yeah.
I got the
The
best of the bone concentrate,
yeah, I use that
the
one. Yep.
mushroom one, and it's got reishi and lion's mane. And then I put a little bit more reishi in, so that's my nightcap. And then I go sit that in bed with my tea, and then like I said, I put on like a bit of Terence McKenna, like little just philosophers, and plug them in my headphone and just lay there. Might read a book if I don't do that. But lately I've been plugging my headphones in and just laying there sipping my tea, and then in a minute like I fall asleep to it. I don't really, that you kind of like half falling asleep and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I better get this out
Yeah.
of my ear.
Yeah.
And it's just like soothing when you listen to old philosophers talk about life. It's like, fuck, that's what I want to go to bed on, so I dream
Yeah.
about that
You're
shit.
really
You know what I mean?
because you're taking that shit in, and then you wake up like, you know what I mean, with all those downloads.
Yeah, and it's not even downloads as in, oh, fuck, I
Yeah.
remember that. But
Yeah.
it's like small hints, just
Yeah.
like if you're looking at the sky and you're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh, I wonder like what
Yeah.
the fuck's up there, you
Just
know?
asking those questions. But like, bro, tea is like, man, I find that that's like, especially before bed, depending on what tea I make, but I'll wake up like, bro, so much energy.
Really?
Yeah, like I've been doing these hectic ones, like couldn't even tell you.
Heaps
What's
of
in it?
different ones,
Yeah.
eh? Like how many would you say? 15?
10, 12, bro. Like, yeah,
10 or 12 ingredients in a tea.
Yeah, just like loose leaves, like lots of mugwort, nettle, like you said, licorice root, valerian root, burdock root.
Oh yeah, they're all sick for
Yeah, shit like that. Like just
that shit will knock you out, eh?
yeah, almost bro, valerian root and mugwort together, like you'll have a crazy sleep.
Yeah. Maybe hang a few datura leaves above your fucking bed and then you go into a weird dream.
But man, like that's getting on top of the. I've always been a big tea guy, not always big coffee. But as of like the last few years, I've gotten into coffee a bit.
You like a good strain of coffee, huh?
Yeah, I do. I'm a bit of a connoisseur now, but
That's when I did too, man. That's
Yeah.
fucking weird. Like I started becoming like really in love with coffee around
Yeah.
your age as well. Fuck. What? So that's your morning routine. What type of diet are you hitting at the moment? Like you used to
let's
eat
talk
like
about that.
shit, like a lot of people did when I was younger as well. Like you used to eat
Oh yeah.
rubbish.
But early on, I wouldn't say I was like. I know early on I was in the gym and shit early, and like
Oh yeah, you done the gym thing when you were fucking young before
yeah,
me.
14, 15, like heavy, like twice a day.
Yeah, I remember you just cooking all this stuff
Yeah.
and you'd be training with
Just
dudes that are
like-
like 20. I'm like, what
Yeah.
the fuck's this kid doing?
And yeah. Everyone was just like, oh, I hope you're not doing like
So
jabbing and shit.
You fucking knew a lot about food ratios, what does what to build muscle
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Not necessarily like the right things.
Not the right things, but
But
more of like a bodybuilding.
A good base.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good base for me
Yeah.
to be like, oh yeah, like this goes with this and this is what my body uses it for, kind of thing.
You were more looking at it as a tone of like, okay, what can I do for performance to become like, not to become, but as in you were getting a lot of references from bodybuilders and shit like that. So they were eating like Pop-Tarts and stuff just to
yeah.
hit their weight
Yeah.
and stuff. You
like,
know what I mean?
Like I said, like I'm a listener.
Yeah.
And like if I'm in some, I'll fucking like I'll research that like
Yeah, crazy.
much like I just sit there like downloading like
Yeah.
all day. So yeah, I would do like the insulin spikes to like get the protein in the blood and shit like that.
Yeah,
I was
bro.
doing that at like
Fuck.
16 and like even like having all my pre-workout like meals like sorted and like
Cooking chicken
Yeah.
breasts and
yeah.
So
all that.
so you knew about food at such an early age and you ran with that, and then you kind of fell out of it and blah and
Yeah,
like it was always there.
I'd say when I moved up here with you, kind of like at the start, I kind of started falling out just because you don't have mummy.
yeah.
I don't have mummy anymore, so
But so what is your view on I know your view on food, but how about we tell people what your view on food is? Paul Chek is a massive influence of me and you. We get a lot out of him, and obviously indigenous cultures type of eating and stuff like that. But you dabbled in a little bit of vegetarian. You were more on the plants and stuff now, and before, and now you just want to tell the people what you're really into, food wise. Now, like, what would your lunch be, or what would your dinner be, and why?
I wouldn't say, like, I never, like, was heavy, like, I was just, like, focusing on more plants and stuff, I guess, at, like, probably, like, a year and a half ago, or, like, a year ago.
Yeah.
But I'll never box myself in like that, you know what I
No.
mean? I'm eating to live, I'm not just a statistic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Statistic meaning don't put me in the box of vegan or carnivore.
Yeah, just a float.
Yep.
Just a floater.
Yep. But yeah, I'm really into, like, I get a lot of information from, like, indigenous cultures and stuff.
Just doing readings up on that and seeing how they act.
Yeah, you have some good books on that. But even watching, bro, like, I go to Maruka on the south side in Brisbane. Go there if you can. Support the local businesses there. I go to some good Eritrean restaurants there, like Ethiopian, Eritrean. So African food, and bro, they have like the big teff injera bread, and you get like your mutton or beef or whatever, and some veggies in the middle. If you guys don't know, teff bread is like gluten free, all that shit. These people invented it ages ago.
Bro, that just makes me so fucking hungry.
Yeah, bro, it's so good. And you go there, they don't have cutlery. You got to eat with your hands.
Eat with your fingers, yeah.
And that's like another thing that we always talk about is, and like we were talking with cooking, it's about the relationship with the food. Even if you're not talking food, relationship with that product that you want to put out there, like the podcast, like your clothes, like whatever you want to put out there. That's something I appreciate, is that relationship between those two things.
So what have you been cooking lately then?
I haven't had beef in a while.
Yep.
So I'm back on my what I tend to stay around is just like, I eat a lot of goat. I eat a bit of chicken and lamb, and then usually like 2 days a week I'll just have I'll just make a root veggie soup.
Yeah.
That we've been making lately, or some lentil dal, or some like Persian eggplant or something. Just mix it up. Yeah. So I just always have the thought in my head like, oh, why don't today you just like have a rest? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just try and let that. Maybe not every week I have that day, but when I have that thought, I always try and do it. And it's usually like every week I'll have a meal or two. It's like that.
A dal is a resting meal, eh?
Yeah, bro.
A dal is like...
Even oatmeal, like I like to have oatmeal even like at night, and that gives you a good rest there.
Fuck, I'm on the carnivore for another month. Like, I've been doing it since November.
Yeah.
And then coming into this year, everything that's gone on, it's kind of threw me off a little bit. I've been splurging like carbs and stuff with football, but I'm going to do a month strict carnivore. And yeah, I just feel good off that shit. But
well, that's what I'm forgetting. That's something you kind of guided me towards, and I've put that in my diet, and that's probably going to stay like a staple, which is like the organs and stuff.
Organ meat, yeah.
So at least like twice a week I'll want to, or even if I'm just having chicken, or like if I'm just having steak, I want to try and put some organs in there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just...
And a heap of that's coming out, like Carnivore MD, Carnivore Code.
Yeah,
he's got a good podcast, man, as well. And he's got a book out, Carnivore Code.
Yeah, I learned a lot from him too.
Yeah, he's like a ball of knowledge, and just seeing the effects that it has taken on me and how I feel on it. A lot of lads at footy are doing it as well, and heaps of them are hooked. It's an easy way to eat, and it's... I wouldn't say it's more expensive, because you go to a good butcher and you get like, you buy in bulk, you good meat, not down at Woolies and that.
Like, this probably doesn't sound right, but meat will fill you like a lamb or like a meat with good fat or like some liver and a big steak. That'll fill you up. Like
Yeah, but it's not a gluggy full, eh? It's
yeah,
just like, yeah, like, nah, I'm done. Like, that
no,
was sick. I don't need anything to top that
bro,
off.
that's how I feel on the potatoes I get at home.
Yeah.
Like those Okinawan potatoes and like bro, I can eat those and like
Mm.
I don't have that bloated feel you feel when like you usually have like I don't know what that food is for you, but you know when you eat too much and you're like, oh shit, I should have stopped when I
Yeah, that's just fucking heaps of bread and sourdough
bread
and stuff like
and
that.
shit like
What
that.
is that? Okinawa what?
Okinawan potato, the white sweet potato that's purple in the middle.
And why they call it that?
I think it originated in Okinawa in Japan.
Little island off Japan, isn't that? Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes they call it Hawaiian potato because they bring it to Hawaii.
Is that the white one? White with purple inside.
Yeah.
True.
That's one thing I'm big on. Like that's what works for me, and like something you put me onto is like eating where your lines or your blood goes to.
Your blood
you know?
lineages, yeah.
So, bro, I can eat rice forever too, and like,
Yeah.
I try and keep rice like that's probably one of the main staples as well for me. So I eat a lot of rice and like a lot of seaweed. Yeah, shit like that. Like I was reading when we were in Japan. Actually, recently I was reading on like pre World War II. Is that was in Japan?
Maybe.
Yeah, pre that war where it was America versus Japan. What their diet was and like, cause we were walking around, I was like, man, why is there all this like beef and pork and like shit everywhere?
Yeah, we're thinking, what the fuck? Why?
So I read up on it, and I also go see a real wise lady in Japan that teaches me how to make incense and shit.
That's how fucking. That's how loose you are. You go over to Japan by yourself, travel around for a bit, and then sort out the lady who makes incense.
And
Who's
she
like
happens to be like a healer.
Yeah, like a Reiki master and Japanese healer, and you go out there and chill with her and just ask her heaps of questions, and then
Bro, for the whole day, like, you know what I mean? It's like, and that was probably like one of the highlights from like my trips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hectic.
it's fucking so
And
cool.
see her like,
You never met this girl. You never
No,
met her before. You
no.
just hit her up on
and she
Airbnb
and
experience.
she messages me like after like, oh, did you go to the market like I told you go to get your fresh wakame? When you're back in Japan, come back.
It's an old lady friend you've made forever.
Yeah, and it's just like, because I went there for a class and we just connected on like, she started bringing out plants on books and shit and
Yeah,
like
you're
all
into
these
that.
plant medicines, and I was like, damn, like she really like, she was like, well, this kid came from Australia to here, and now he's like, to show that I was so like interested or passionate,
Yeah.
just like back to what we were saying, that feeling. It wasn't about me paying for that class. It was like I was just having that moment.
Yeah.
That's
Whoa.
all it is is moments, like.
Mm.
Like, and yeah, so I was talking to her about it and then did more research, and she was like, yeah, pretty much told me after the war like everything was pretty Americanized. So I
Yeah.
went and did research, and like literally they were just eating like dried seaweed and rice most of the time when they could, eating eel and like fish, whatever, but not that much. So their diet was mostly like carbohydrates, I guess, or rice.
Yeah, and that's how you're kind of looking at living through. Yeah,
Yeah,
like our we're descendant from Japan,
Yeah,
Chinese,
China.
New Zealand.
So, I work well off it. Like, I'm pretty in shape.
Yeah.
Like, my body just responds to it.
Responds. That's what you're
Yeah.
just looking for, eh? You're looking
Yeah.
at. You're just aware enough to know, like, okay, I've just eaten that. Fuck, I feel shit.
Yeah.
Next time.
But even sourdough is like that sometimes. Like, you eat sourdough and avocado, like, too much of that, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, jeez, I'm, like, heavy as. Like, and yet, your head feels heavy.
And the thing, if not being present about that, that's next time it's like, no, I'm gonna feel
Yeah.
shit, but I'm just gonna do this anyway, and then you kind of enjoy the experience, and then you come out of it and you feel you're taking a toll.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you just do something that your body feels good and is thriving off,
Yeah.
you come out of that and you just bounce and you're feeling good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's one of that's kind of how I feel after tea. Like before I go to bed, you wake up like bouncing, like full of energy, like everything is kind of revitalized. That's what food should be, like a revitalization. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but food nowadays is just like, oh, I got a pain in my gut. Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna fucking go buy this and just stop that pain in my gut. Where it's like a sugar craving or a carbohydrate,
Yeah.
like, and you're not even actually fucking hungry, and you're just feeding yourself shit.
It's another thing about diet we should probably touch on that. I tend not to eat until like 3, 4, 5 maybe if I'm working. Like,
So you fast in the morning,
yeah, but
have a tea.
kind of unintentionally, yeah, I might have a tea. If I am drinking coffee that week, 'cause I try to take a week off or 2 and then a week on.
Ben Griefield's big on that, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, he says
True.
he has 3 weeks on, 1 week off of coffee. That's what he used to
Pretty
say.
good.
So yeah, you do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I just recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I'm gonna have a coffee, I need something with it, or I do the Paul Check thing.
Butter.
I add butter and cardamom and turmeric. Yeah.
So what tell the people what Paul Check, like he got it from,
Well,
or you tell him.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I used to do this when I was younger, but not to the. I was trying to do it. I would put like coconut oil and stuff in it because I got that science that like fat would slow down how fat would slow down the uptake or
the spike of
Yeah.
the caffeine, like
yeah, it would slow down digestion, so
Yeah.
then it would slow down how fast it gets in the bloodstream.
it's like a break on
Yeah.
it's like a break on the caffeine hit on over a long period of time. It doesn't hit you all at once. It lasts over.
So I had that science from bodybuilding when you wanted to insulin spike and when you wanted to like
True.
not spike insulin. So I was trying to do that. When we got to Paul Check, he
Pretty much explained it a lot better, didn't he?
yeah, just saying how butter like can kind of
act as a vehicle for the caffeine.
yeah, and coconut oil is a bit like
Slow release. It's
Yeah.
on a slow release timer. So add in butter and oils. Butter tends to mix better than the oils. The oil kind of sits on
Yeah.
top, but butter mixes through the coffee. And
yeah, you'll find that your first sip you'll get heaps of butter.
yeah,
Like that's what I find.
and you just and it's just on a slow. It's like a slow time release, and you just run off it for a couple of hours.
That's why I like the cardamom. So yeah, I encourage the butter and cardamom. Cardamom tastes good in it too. But that also does that. It controls the hit that the caffeine will have on you.
Oh, as well.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a double whammy.
True.
Yeah. And the turmeric and the cardamom actually like makes it a bit less acidic for your body and stuff.
Yeah. No, that's
and-
pretty cool information.
And the turmeric kind of just
Anti-inflammation type of thing.
yeah, and just stops that crash as well because it kind of taps into your. It's what do they call those foods that are like your brain foods? It's one of those anyway.
Just a brain food.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
brain food, so it'll just keep you tapped in, I guess. And
Yeah, just keep you running.
I find it doesn't. I don't get those shitty afternoons after coffee.
Yeah.
Do that
Yeah, and there's that little voice in saying, no, fuck all that. Just have the fucking espresso.
all the time, and I'm like, fuck, that's too much work. But it's like takes 2 seconds, bro. Like,
And it's good.
yeah,
The
and it
espresso
tastes
is good too, as well. Like, don't get me wrong, good espresso. But then you like, after you have it, you're like, fuck yeah. And then when you're coming down, it's like, fuck, I should have had the butter.
That's why I like the cardamom, because it actually doesn't like overpower. It kind of like adds to the coffee taste.
Yeah, I need to get some of that.
Yeah, and I just found that they do that in Middle East. I didn't actually know that, but yeah, it's fucking. I highly recommend turmeric and cardamom in coffees.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Sweet. And one a day.
Mhm.
No, you can have as many as you want. But
Yeah, up to you. But yeah.
So what? Are you reading any books at the moment? You're just doing a lot of gardening. You got.
Yeah, I'm really into I'm listening to a bit more podcasts and reading, although that is a goal of mine as well. Soon to get on. I do have a list of books to like grab as well. I got a fair few, but they're not really philosophy books. Like,
And they're not top shelf books, hey? They're like
no,
hidden gems that you find,
yeah,
and it's just like fucking
yeah. It's like
got dust on them.
$2 books, and I read like the back where it kind of breaks down what's in it.
Imagine how many books have been made in the whole fucking
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
They're not all top shelf. Like
Pretty
they're gonna
sure
be
Paul Check has about half of them.
half of the book. He
In
pulls
the
out like
world.
weird philosophy books, of, like lectures that he's like.
But
There's only 10 copies of it in the world or something.
I do want more of those like philosophy books, because I'm like obviously into that kind of stuff. But I'm also like, I'm big on just like, I just grab books on like the knowledge I'm interested in, or like the knowledge I want. Like,
Yeah, that's what a book is. It's just
Yeah,
like it's someone telling you a story.
yeah,
Like that's not there physically, but they've
Yeah.
written it down, and it's like here's a heap
Yeah.
of knowledge.
Yeah,
Do what you want with it.
yeah. So like, I just got books on like gardening, like multiple fashion designers and like artists, and herb books, and cooking books, and I got a lot of that stuff, and like natural healing books.
Be your grandma's bookshelf, eh? If your grandma was like, if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were into this shit and you went into your grandma's house and she had all this shit, and you'd be like, fuck, my grandma was so legit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
if you were just not, if you weren't interested, you'd be like, what the fuck's grandma got
Yeah.
all these gardening shit crystal books and that
Yeah.
over? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Grandma's weird.
like that.
That's what your bookshelf looks like, eh?
Yeah, it's heaps of that. Like, so I do have a list I want to get, but I do want to get more of that. But I'm really into like art anyway, so
Yeah.
I just like studying, especially ancient art, and like, yeah. Back to what I was saying before, like indigenous peoples and like the cultures that I have a relationship with, are like have a massive impact on me, bro. And like, so I like to study those things, and like they correlate well into my life. I feel like, because from a young age I was doing kapa haka, so I was having like OGs, if you will, telling me like massage the feet, massage mother with your feet.
Yeah.
Like I was like 12, bro, and like you really don't know what that is, but that seed's planted in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and down
Like,
the track, you're like, whoa.
Bro, there's so many, like, even the songs we're singing, like, since doing ayahuasca, I kind of like gotten back into those waiata and like karakia with the songs and the prayers, because they hold so many like hidden gems, bro, that I didn't pick up back in the day. But it's like I was chanting this, bro, and like you see when you have those ceremonies how powerful like song and dance is. And
Just
like,
in life, man.
Yeah.
With all indigenous cultures.
so to have, so even just to not be self-centered, but like me doing that so young, I feel like that kind of connected me with that like early on, and like I loved it, bro. Like
Yeah.
even like back in the day, I wasn't like, oh, I gotta go. Like I loved like learning about that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, even soon I want to try and find something local.
Get back into it.
Yeah, because it's again fulfilling. Like I come home like, oh, like shit.
Yeah.
Like
It's kind of like a meditation in a way.
it is like song and dance is like. That's why, yeah, even when I spoke to our shaman the next morning, I was like, man, like this morning I just got up and like danced and sung. Like, why can't I do that every morning?
Yeah.
And he just started laughing. He's like, exactly. I was like, damn, like, yeah, I need to get back to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So your books are
Yeah, I want to get a bit more of a bookshelf like yours and diverse it up a bit.
yeah, you can take those books whenever. Yeah, well, I guess cool. That's probably it for the first podcast, man. That's pretty cool. We've been going for an hour, 58 minutes. That was solid.
We'll probably have a few more, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. As this podcast just starting out, Jackson, you're pretty much the first. Yeah, you are the first guest that we've had on.
Yeah.
Me and Osh did just a muck around one the other day, but yeah, thanks, brother. Really appreciate it. And any questions about the podcast, or if anyone has any can relate to anything, reach out. And you're on Instagram and stuff, eh? Not that you're like fucking popular and that, but if anyone wants to like just
Oh yeah, if you
reach
heard
out.
anything that resonated with you, we can like send links and stuff.
Yeah, like anyone who's into art or
Yeah.
anything like that, music and whatnot.
Even
Eh?
like gardening, if you need like, I don't know, if you're looking for good soil in Brisbane, I got the hookup.
Yeah, just the soil,
Yeah.
not the others.
Yeah, not the plants. And mine.
Nah, sweet brother. Thanks heaps, and
All good.
peace out. All love.
Yeah, love to everyone.
Thanks, bro.
I'm good.